Bob Nightingale from USA Today says Eric Hosmer has a couple of offers on the table. 7 years, 140 from the Padres. 7 years, 147 from his old team, the Royals. John Paul Morosi, MLB Network, also reports that the St. Louis Cardinals are still in the mix as well. So kind of get through all the weeds here, clear it out. What do you see happening with Eric Hosmer?
It's interesting, man. You know, what's interesting now, we have numbers. We have physical eyeball numbers, right? 7 years, 140, $1 million more a year now to stay in this hometown. And then you have the Cardinal aspect right down the road. That, to me, makes sense. It really does. When I look at the Cardinal scene, that could be a sneaky make sense out of nowhere, and they put him right there in that lineup, and the consistency that he gives you from the left side of just a good at bat in the middle of that lineup with Osuna now, you're looking at, is this team now ready to go in that central above the Cubs? So it's very interesting now the Cardinals are in.
So you're Eric Hosmer. You're in your late 20s. You're in the prime of your career. You've already won a ring. You're going to get goo gobs of money. I mean, we're talking about with the numbers that we've seen, and we don't know if they're true or not, but 147, sure. 140, same length of the deal. So you're talking about $1 million difference per year. Maybe heading to San Diego. They're trying to build something there, but they have one winning season in the last decade. The Royals, he went to back-to-back World Series in 2014, 2015, but he knows what's happening there. So, I mean, yeah, if you're Hosmer, you're begging for St. Louis to get close because you know that year in and year out that organization wants to put a winner on the table. There's no such thing as a rebuild there.
Yeah, you make a great point, right? You're going to be rich. So now it's where you're going to be comfortable. Where's your family? He's not married yet, I don't believe, unless he just got married in the offseason. But you know what I'm saying? I just think that this is a situation. He's a ball player, man. And you want to look about where I'm going to win. Now, the Padres has been number one team from the get-go, and they're not going to be out of this situation the entire next 7 years. So, yeah, he might have to lose another year and might have to lose maybe one more year. But then I think they're ready to start spending some money. So he becomes that guy we build around like Myers. But the Cardinals do make sense, Chris, because like you said, they're in it every single year. And, man, I'll tell you what, that lineup now, they need this guy. It looks good, that team.
Let's say he does re-up with Kansas City. Because, over the last year we've said, well, what are they going to do with all of their free agents? Are they going to trade them? No, they held on to him for one last run. That didn't work out in 2017. Do you think it changes the tact of the organization if they give Hosmer almost $150 million?
Yeah, it does, Chris, because we know they can't spend as much as everybody. But then you look at, do they get a guy to come back? And the longer this market goes, we're a month away from reporting to camp. Can you buy cheap and maybe bring back a Kane or a Moustakas on one-year deal? I don't know. I'm just saying, all of a sudden, he makes that team better. If he goes back to Kansas City, this is still a club in that division that, you know what, can still shock people. And we always talk about they're just scrappy and they kind of do their thing and it doesn't make sense. And Alex Gordon can't be that bad. He's got to hit better than he did last year. So, I mean, who knows? But it's kind of interesting.
If I'm dating more, here's the sell job I do for Eric Hosmer. I sit down with him. I say, listen, this is what we can offer you. We really want you to be the centerpiece. But you have to understand, we don't have any other dollars to give your buddies Locaine and Mike Moustakas and bring them back. It's not going to happen. So part of the money we're giving you is not only to produce numbers, but to be a good soldier during this turnaround. We're gonna take our lumps. We might only win 73 games over the next couple years, but I'm telling you, it's coming. Here's what we've got in the minors. Here's where we plan on opening up our pocketbooks a little bit. But you got to be the positive face of the franchise. I think that's the conversation he's got to have with him because you can't. You're not going to pay Hosmer 147 and then pay Kane 58 and then pay Moustakas 80. That's not going to happen in this town.
No doubt.
So I think he just has to have an open and real conversation.
It makes sense, buddy. Yeah, but I think if you're Hos, you're trying to go somewhere to win immediately.
Yeah. You know what I want? I would like one of these GMs to invite us into a room. We won't tell the stories. Like, Kevin and I just want to be there. Like, he got 1 3-year deal from Baltimore, and it was worth nothing back in the day. I mean, he spent that on his way out of the door. So just invite us in the offseason to one of these negotiating sessions just so you can fill us in a little. Wouldn't that be fun? A little road trip?